Okay, everybody, welcome to the Pantry Party Show. I am so excited about our guest today. It's at Carolyn O'Neill, and she is a superstar. We're going to get started shortly. For now, let's just enjoy a couple more seconds of these tunes. Hey guys, hey Kurt, hi Step It Up with Steph. Oh, Carolyn's here. Let's go, people. Let's get this party started. Love it. Oh my gosh, so much fun. I cannot wait for the show today. It's Friday, it's the Pantry Party, and we have Carolyn O'Neill, superstar, with us. So you know the scoop, everybody. It's party time. Absolutely, you know the scoop. We're here. Lightness, creativity, positivity. We need it right now in our food lives, and that's what the Pantry Party Show is all about. All right, Carolyn O'Neill, let's bring you in, girl. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We got you. We got you. Carolyn. Hey, oh, it's the battle of the disco balls.
I have the multicolored.
You win. I mean, yours is, I'm spinning mine with my hand. So
This is,
you win.
Don, I'm going to order you one. It's not essential. It might take a while, but this is the travel size.
I love it.
When we travel again.
Yes, here's the thing. Why am I not surprised that you started with a disco ball of your own? You are the ultimate party girl. But here's what I have to say, Carolyn, when I was thinking about having you, I was like, oh my gosh, you're so high energy, you're so wild and fun, and like the most positive dietitian I know. But before I let that go, you're also one of the most accomplished dietitians. And I feel like because you're not pretentious and you're so welcoming and you're so relatable, it's easy to forget. It is easy to forget just like how many accolades and how much you've pushed the profession forward. So if you wouldn't mind, Carolyn O'Neill, would you talk a little bit about like your background and just how cool all the things you've done?
Well, you know, the reason that I love being a registered dietitian is because, I mean, I'm just going to say this. The first thing that comes to my mind, Don, is, and I know there's guy-etitions too, you know, guys in our profession, but it is like the best sorority ever. Everybody is so smart. They care about each other. They support each other. We care about the facts, you know, and it's amazing. I don't know, do we all come from the same DNA of caring about food, nutrition, cuisine? And then also some of us of a certain age, actually, we have degrees in home economics. And you know what home ec is? Food, clothing, shelter, childcare, home care. And this is what we're all focused on right now. I was at CNN for 20 years. And launched their coverage of food, nutrition, cuisine. I don't think that people at CNN at the time took it as seriously, which was a good thing. They were focused on Washington and Wall Street and wars and, you know, politics. And I would show up at the editorial meetings with my food and nutrition stories. Like, today we're going to be doing a story on the correct way to use a bathroom scale and monitor your weight. And then all of a sudden the whole newsroom would go, oh my gosh, we've always wanted to know that. This is a great story. I'll have it for the noon. I want it for the 5. And of course we covered everything, a story a day for nearly 20 years on everything from pate to pesticides. I mean, Don, I remember, you know, as a dietitian, we focus on nutrition. And then now we've all expanded out to food, right? But at that time I said, you know, I think we should do a story. It was breaking news at the time in the early 90s on something called a celebrity chef. And they're like, oh, what do you mean? You mean chefs are coming out of the kitchen? So it was a lot of fun. I got through in my career too, to get to know, you name it, I have pretty much interviewed every top chef you can imagine. And it might have even been their first TV interview. I think Emeril Lagasse, it was his first national TV interview. Bobby Flay, his first national TV interview. Todd English, I mean, it goes on. And the great Jose Andres, who we all love and adore now, you know, for his work with the World Central Kitchen. I remember doing a story on his first restaurant in DC. It was called Cafe Atlantico, and it was championing the foods of Iberia, you know, Spain. And because of that, we've really remained friends. And so, you know, in journalism, when you interview people, you get to know them. And then I'm telling you, there was some fraud. There's still nutrition fraud that we covered too. Some crazy supplements, some crazy rip-off people, because you know you got to keep your eye on the prize when people need the best information on food, nutrition, and cuisine. So that was also a part of being at CNN.
Well, so is that what you went to school thinking that you were going to do as a diet? Well, and by the way, you got some gal pals giving you high fives. Rice is giving you highs. Janet Helm is like, she's a superstar. I mean, it's shocking to hear. I mean, 20 years doing CNN, a story basically a day. That's, I feel like, how I even came, the idea of dietitians on television is Carolyn O'Neill on CNN. I mean, when you
we did, you know what, we did stories on everything. People say, how do you come up with a story every day? I tell you one thing, you're interested in everything. You see a sign on the back of a bus, oh, that's interesting, that could be a story. I mean, you're desperate. And then we would, you know, sit around and think, let's do a story on this new trend. It's called organic produce. I remember 1991. And rather than going to the grocery store and standing there, you know, in the organic section, which was pretty tiny, especially in the South, maybe not so much in California, I knew I had to fly with my crew to California to do this story. And luckily CNN allowed me to do those things. And I thought, of course we'll interview a farmer, but let's go someplace cool to do the story. And do you know where we went?
Where?
We went to Skywalker Ranch, where George Lucas's whole production team is, because I found out that they had a 2 or 3 acre organic vegetable garden to use in their company cafeteria, essentially. So they allowed us to go and shoot our story on organic produce with the people who came up with the sounds for the dinosaurs of Jurassic Park. And so,
that's wild. I mean,
you're such a great teacher, and this is what teachers do. We try to get people into the tent with something else that might interest them first before nutrition.
I love it. Okay, so really and truly though, did you know that you were going to be like the CNN dietitian? Like, did you think of that as your career when you were becoming a dietitian?
No, I wanted to be a newspaper food editor or like a magazine, like go to New York and, you know, kind of like Doris Day in the movies with my briefcase and my hat and like walk down the streets of New York and go to the big magazine. And unfortunately, I never did get a job. Then I went to school at Boston University and got a master's in nutrition and communications at BU, one of the first of its kind. And now at Tufts, of course, they have that program. But to save my life, I couldn't even get an internship at the Boston Globe or, you know, the Boston Magazine. So finally, there was this little TV station in Somerville, Warner Cable Television, and they had a news program in black and white. And I went there to be an intern, you know, signed up to be an intern. And the guy who was our news director at the time, North Callahan, I'll never forget his name, said, you know what, Carolyn, I think you'd be good as a consumer reporter, like, you know, on the show. And I said, oh, you know what? Give me a few weeks. Let me follow around the crews. And I kind of like to do that too. I'd seen him on, you know, local news in Boston. He says, no, tonight at 5 o'clock. This was 1 PM.
I love it.
Tonight,
Throw her in.
Yeah, that's how you launch a career, people. You don't know what you're doing. And that has been, I have been making it up as I go along ever since.
That is awesome. So, okay, so you did go to school with the intention of doing something with like nutrition and communications with that master's.
Oh yeah, I worked in fancy places. I worked at the Peter Ben Brigham Hospital, you know, the Harvard teaching hospital as an outpatient dietitian for people with diabetes. And I also got my, internship at the VA hospital in San Diego, which was super serious. So yeah, for all the young dietitians, yeah, you may want to be a communicator, you know, like Dawn, like me, and like others, but you gotta do the clinical. You gotta.
Michelle Dudash is giving you hello. Well, okay, so listen to this. So now you do CNN for 20 years, but in your also very humble, like I was even looking at your website, and it's like not even really out there. Is James Beard Awards. Like what? Where did those come from? What? Tell me.
3 James Beard Awards, and that is for my work at CNN as one of the early people to cover food and nutrition and food issues, if you will, on television. Now, you know, I'm actually a judge for the James Beard Media Awards, and guess what? Oh my gosh, Dawn, tonight, April the 24th, Friday, this would have been the award ceremony tonight in New York at Pier 60 were the nominees for all the categories of food on television. That's everything from outstanding personality. Martha always enters, by the way, she always enters. And then, yeah, I'm one of the judges, and there's many, many categories. But my prediction is, as you know, next year, our online category, as you can imagine, is going to be bigger than ever because everybody's been putting their efforts into that. No, and I'm also in the James Beard, only dietitian or first dietitian, I guess, in the James Beard Who's Who of Food and Beverage in America. And that was such an honor. They were recognizing my work on CNN of doing a story every single day, half-hour show every weekend on food nutrition that was on the menu, which was on the air for 16 years. And Liz Weiss, one of our great colleagues and my great friend, your great friend, I hired Liz and she was the senior producer. And then I made her, this is again what mentorship is about and helping each other in our profession. I said, Liz, you got to learn to go on camera. You got to go practice your stand-ups. And of course, she's fantastic at it. And if you don't follow Liz's Healthy Table, you should. She's terrific.
I love that. I didn't know that you had hired her back in the day as a producer. That's so great. I mean,
and Ellie Krieger was an intern, Dawn. She was one of my interns.
I love this.
Of course, to greatness and is such a wonderful, lovely person.
I love this. I mean, Carolyn, I mean, do you get that a lot that you're so relatable and you're so like easygoing and fun that it's like a shock to people of like, just like, oh my gosh, like how much chops you have?
I think it's the way I look at the world, Dawn. It's the way I look at the world. Now, I saw Barbie. She was scientist Barbie, but I call her dietitian Barbie.
Yes.
And
I've met her
for a show today.
I've met her many a time, Carolyn, from you.
She likes to go to our annual meetings, but she hasn't been out much lately. But I made her a little mask for today's show so that we could appear together. Hey, by the way, we've got to go bowling this afternoon. You know, I live in Georgia. All the bowling alleys are going to be open. Thank you to our governor. Oh, hair salons, tattoo parlors. It's been kind of a point of comedy and controversy. Of course, I'm not going to a bowling alley today, but the other Barbie that I enjoy, and I hope to get her out at some point when the time is right, Travel Barbie. We have.
Oh, yes. Well, actually, Carolyn, that Travel Barbie brings up a good point. Before we get into your pantry, which at some point we are going to do soon here, one of the things that I know by watching your feed is that you would be one of the most traveled dietitians I know. I mean, you're always somewhere on the globe. So I'm sure you are looking forward to travel getting back. Has travel always been something that you've done?
Well, I grew up in a family that traveled. My father actually was the purser on board what they called back then ocean liners. They didn't call them cruise lines. And he was on the United States. He was the purser. That meant he was an officer. And so he would travel from New York, where I grew up, kind of near West Point, near Cornwall, New York. And he would travel around the world and bring me back dolls of the world. So I've always been fascinated with everything to do with cultures and cuisines. My mother is Scottish. We always had people over to our house growing up who were from Japan or Germany or, Italy, wherever, so I just kind of grew up with that. So when I started at CNN, you can imagine I got really, really excited about traveling the world to tell the nutrition story and the food story. And, in my pantry, to kind of segue there, I love having things from all over the world and learning about how we enjoy them in our home pantries in the States.
Well, here in preparation for our session at the Pantry Party Show today, I noticed that you've already done a Refrigerators of the Not So Rich and Famous episode of your own. So I got a chance to watch that and see some of your condiments. So like you said, as a segue, the Pantry Party Show always has like one launch off food item and like one sort of assignment recipe for everybody to try. So can we peek in your pantry, fridge, or freezer and sort of get a feel for what our ingredient will be of the day?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
What do you want? You want the refrigerator or you want the pantry?
Well, dude, you're known on the Food Network as the
lady of the refrigerator.
Lady of the fridge. Okay. So fridge first.
Here we go. All right, so this is my refrigerator. It's nothing fancy. It's a Whirlpool. And as I told on my Lifestyles of the Not So Rich and Famous, or Fridge Styles.
Oh, that's what it was called.
I wish I had Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero, if you're listening, I want a Sub-Zero. But anyway, I looked in here today. I didn't change anything for you or
Good.
anybody here
Good.
to pantry. I didn't move anything around because I thought I would surprise myself.
Be authentic. This is it.
I have a lot of salad dressings. Okay, a lot. And you know why? Not necessarily because I eat a lot of salads. I love to cook with salad dressings. I think that salad dressings, like a vinaigrette specifically, brings you the flavors to glaze the chicken, to add just at the very end to a stir fry. I mean, they've already, you know, the team of experts have already done the work here for the various flavors. And I do like the lemon, the champagne. And then I have rediscovered in Quarantine Kitchen the joy of iceberg lettuce. Okay.
Well, can I slow you down for a minute? You know that salad dressing is like mind blowing. It's not just like a tip, like, oh, here's a good tip. Like literally, that could change someone's entire food life. That tip alone could change someone's life because why? Because people say, I don't know how to cook. I don't know how to do this. Da, da, da. Like you said, experts have figured out the combos of the flavors. Use your salad dressings for other things besides salad. Please know that's a fabulous tip. I love, that's a life-changing tip.
And also, you know, nutritionally, I mean, generally the first ingredient is vegetable oil, correct? And then they've added, if it's the good ones, it's not too high in sodium, and it's not like you're drinking it. You know, you're adding it. You're adding
Speak for yourself, lady. So anyway, sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to give you a nod of like, that could technically be a life-changing tip.
Thank you. And speaking of that, what have I got going on in here? Oh, Dawn, so I have a half of a flank steak. I bought flank steak at the grocery store the other day, and it's marinating right now, actually in some balsamic vinegar and some olive oil, so kind of a salad dressing, if you will.
Yeah.
And the reason I have half is I bought a whole one, and I live alone here, and for those of us who have small households, I actually cut it in half and gave it to a friend. You know? Oh. And it's so
that's
funny.
A feel-good steak story. That's a steak story.
Well, let me.
You got a lot of dietitians giving you hellos, and I see a lot of dietitians coming in, so that's cool.
Everybody's names here, and I just love watching everybody's feeds. But my friend, who is not a dietitian, I said to him, Mark, I go, listen. He goes, is it cooked? I go, no, it is not cooked. It is raw in a bag with a marinade. He goes, well, how long will it stay? I go, Mark, why don't you just grill it tonight, and then you'll have it in your refrigerator. It'll stay much longer. So then as he left, I thought, oh boy, there goes a food safety problem. And, but anyway, no, he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
I love it. Hey, so while we're in the fridge, just real quick, what was that Lady of the Fridge, Alton Brown Food Network thing? Oh, and Mark is lucky to know you, Liz says. Yes.
Well, here is, I happen to have this photograph here for everyone to enjoy. This is a while back. You can see Alton looks a little different now, but that's me. I think one of the first times I shot with him. And that's Shirley Correr, who is a great cookbook author. If you don't have Cookwise or Bakewise, she's a goddess. Anyway, how did it start? I got a call from Alton Brown, because I guess he knew me from CNN and whatnot. And he said, would you like to be on my show? And I'm like, yeah, sure, you know. And thinking I'm going to show up and be interviewed, you know.
Yeah, yes.
Or like, you know, we do. He says, no. You're the lady of the refrigerator. You're to put on this bad blue prom gown and be inside. So I'm literally like inside the refrigerator, which has the back cut out of it, right? And then they have this dry ice that goes down like it's all, you know, fog kind of stuff, like I'm coming out. It's like, so it's like, he said it was from kind of like Legend of Arthur, you know, King Arthur, the Lady of the Lake rises from the lake to give wisdom. So I rise out of the refrigerator to give food and nutrition wisdoms.
I love it. You know what I love the most is that you're the CNN dietitian thinking that you're going to do, you know, a savvy like interview about food, and you end up the best part of life. I love this. In a blue prom dress with blue lipstick, being the lady of the fridge. That, you know what? And talk about good lesson, Carolyn, of like leaning in to opportunities of all types. Like that is just such a fun story. All right, sorry to interrupt. So anyway, every episode is titled something. What are we going to title your episode? What should we give?
Oh, my new one, the new one that's on right now on Good Eats Reloaded is called Icebox Cakes. And it's icebox cakes. Icebox, you know, like refrigerator cake?
Yeah.
Anyway, so obviously I'm in the refrigerator, and I give, you can't believe how many lines, Dawn, I had to memorize. I had to recite and recount the entire history of refrigeration and act super excited about it. And then they made me seem like a really science nerd, like doing like selfies with like the guy that invented the first, whatever. And then like, it's very, the creative editing on Good Eats on the Food Network, and I believe it's also on the Cooking Channel, or maybe on the Cooking Channel first. But I am in For Whom the Cheese Melts. It was on cheese. And these are the most recent ones. And of course, Icebox Cake, which is the most recent. And I just have to say, some of my best work there in the refrigerator.
That's, what, it is interesting though, because, so much of what we do is live TV and like rolling with the punches. So memorizing lines is actually something that I don't do very well because I'm more off the cuff. I mean, so congratulations for memorizing those lines.
Oh, it was, listen, here's what they do. They had me running the lines. I felt like it was in Hollywood. Running lines.
You are.
A producer and another producer are like, no, his name is this. And it was 1848. It wasn't 18. I'm like, God, can you not get a teleprompter? No, we cannot have a teleprompter. So, it was a mental challenge, but, obviously it was fun.
It's great. Yeah, I recently used a teleprompter poorly, and I feel very bad about myself. So let's move on from that topic. Okay, so that's your pantry.
Yeah, and it is, we're supposed to talk about what we're going to make tonight. Remember I have that flank steak?
Yes.
So I have lots of grains, but they're going to last for a really long time. They're non-perishable. But I realized I had these little baby Dutch yellow potatoes. So don't you think I should use these sooner rather than later?
I love that. Well, you know what? And that's the lesson we've been saying over and over and over on the Pantry Party Show is what your jumping off point is either something that's about to go bad, like the flank steak, or something that you have a lot of that you need to use up, right? So flank steak for sure. And then when you're playing the game of grains, it's like, okay, what's the thing that's I've got to use first? Potatoes are great. I love, hey, do you ever do those, well, I mean, if you have global food inspiration, but you know what I've been loving is roasting those little guys and doing smashed potatoes instead of mashed potatoes. Yeah. I love those.
You know what? Because I always, even if it's a regular potato, especially the red skin ones, the skins, right? There's fiber. Now we know there's fiber all the way through the potato, but I like the fibers. And when I do the smashed, I like to then add a little fresh chopped up, if I have them, green onions.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So
Michelle Dudash said, roast those babies up hot.
Okay, Michelle.
So good with your flank. Yeah, the smashed potatoes, flank steak. Okay, what's our vegetable?
Huh?
What's our veggie?
Huh? I really don't have very many. I don't know. I told you I've been into that iceberg lettuce lately, and
Okay, fine.
As a dietitian, I know don't buy iceberg lettuce. There's no nutrients. Okay. Guess what? It's very, very filling, and it also has a lot of water in it, so it's hydrating. Yes. And it's especially good when you
got hearts. You got a lot of hearts
when you enjoy it with blue cheese dressing. But
well, you know what? And I feel like you are giving a good lesson of what balanced plate is. It's like there's vegetables on it, there's a little ranch on it, there's a little steak on it, there's some smashed potatoes on it. I love this. So a blue cheese, obviously, Michelle.
I have lots of frozen vegetables. I'll be honest, Dawn. I say I have some problems using them up. Okay, now especially here's a cucumber. Another idea for our little pantry problems.
Yes.
I don't get to it, and you know what? It's horrible when you feel it's soft. This one's not yet. It's so good. But what I did with another one, this is another little trick. I made cheater pickles. So I used cheater pickles. I sliced up the cucumber and I put it in the almost, a real small jar, and they're absolutely delicious. It keeps them fresher. They're actually a little crunchier, and of course they're going to be lower in sodium then because they're not soaked all the way through, with the salt like the regular pickle would be.
So we got it. This is a fabulous. Okay, so is that the same liquid that the pickles were in?
Yeah, and you know how maybe there was 3 or 4 pickles left, and then I had that cucumber, and so I sliced it up into shapes that I thought would fit. I made a few mistakes. Some were too tall, so I had to cut the little tops off. But yeah, and then I got
how fun is that? Well, and you know what else? Here's the thing. You're a media dietitian when you name it cheater pickles. Here's the thing. Putting cucumbers in an old pickle jar, I don't think I'm doing it. If someone calls it cheater pickles, I'm doing it. I am doing that. branding that kind of nutrition stuff is just so, yes, I want cheater pickles.
And then even if I can use half of this fresh one, let's say in a salad over the next couple of days, I don't want to waste it, so I'll make my cheater pickles.
Yep, Michelle Dudash says brilliant, and I kind of feel like I want to name your whole episode Cheater Pickles.
Cheater pickles. And I've got so many strawberries. California strawberries are peak of season right now.
Yeah.
So grab them, and some of them end up in a recipe or a smoothie. Some end up in the freezer. They freeze really well. And I've got so many pecans. That's another problem I have, Dawn. Here in Georgia, I have so many pecans. I keep them in the refrigerator. You have to keep nuts in the refrigerator.
Janet Helm wants cheater pickles.
Cheater pickles.
She wants cheater pickles. Yeah, you know what? Keeping nuts in the fridge or freezer, it's a hot tip. I love that. It's so wise. And I'm a huge pecan fan myself, too.
Because you know what? I had some flax seeds. You know, they're very high in, what is it, omega-3s? Well, guess what happens to those? They go rancid super fast. So you got to keep those in the refrigerator. And I don't want people to buy healthy foods and then have a really bad experience. So it is about storage. And you've been helping people so much, Dawn, with your pantry parties to help people know not just what to eat, but when to eat it and where to keep it.
Yeah, you know what? Where to keep it, I think, is an overlooked thing. I don't even know if we do enough of that on Pantry Party, because I feel like thanks to the nod of like, nuts and seeds that can go rancid, keeping them in the fridge or freezer, I think is a great tip. And you get, I mean, here's the thing. Everybody's freaking out. Dietitian April Sins is basically freaking out as well about cheater pickles. So bottom line is, I mean, can we call this whole episode Cheater Pickles?
That's what Alton Brown would do. He would.
I feel like I want to, but I also love at the top, if anybody's new joining, I also love at the top, the salad dressing ain't just for salads tip.
That's cheater sauce in a way, you know.
Okay, so maybe this is called the cheater sauce cheater pickle.
Pantry Party cheater edition.
Oh my God. Of course it is. It's the most creative one yet, and I would expect nothing less from you, Carolyn O'Neill. This is amazing. Well, so do you feel comfortable with that? Because then we can close the show. If you feel comfortable with this being the episode of cheater sauce and cheater pickles.
Absolutely. And one more thing from a serious note, you know, as dietitians, I always tell people to enjoy foods in moderation. And then that's like the most boring thing I've ever heard in my whole life. People are like, okay, yeah, I gotta go. But if you tell them you got to learn how to cheat on your, you know, eating healthy, meaning a little bit of cheese, a little bit of that butter, how to accessorize. I like to add accessories that are kind of like the real splurgy things. I used heavy cream for the first time as a dietitian. Woo! It's that a penne alla vodka. And again, I thought, well, you know what? I'm accessorizing. Just
I
like
love that.
You're a fashionista, and we don't want too many baubles, bangles, or beads to ruin an outfit, but just enough to accessorize.
All right, so I'm giving you this, my food philosophy. All foods fit, except for some fit better than others. So it's kind of the same nod. So listen, Carolyn O'Neill, if people want to learn more about you, what you're doing, things you're up to, yes, with your disco ball, where can everybody go? Like, where's the best place to like find all Carolyn O'Neill?
Well, of course, follow me on Instagram, please, and you probably already are at Carolyn O'Neill, but I have a blog. It's called The Healthy Happy Kitchen, and that's where I try to put all my musings and recipes. I got the penne alla vodka with the whipping cream and the vodka on there today. I'll post the cheater pickles.
Oh, Janet Helm is already saying that Janet Helm is she has a picture of the cheater pickles that she just got from the screen, and she's going to do a presentation on trends, and that will be in there.
Oh my gosh, this, you know what, it's made my day. Barbie,
I love it. So you're going to need disco ball. So your Instagram then goes to your blog, which
yes, The Happy Healthy Kitchen. And just, you know, in all whatever, my website, CarolynO'Neill.com, is a mess, and I got somebody working on it right now. But if you want a good laugh, a good chuckle, you go look at CarolynO'Neill.com right now. But TheHappyHealthyKitchen.com is where I live. The Happy Health, because I want to be happy. I want to be healthy. I want you to be happy. I want you to be healthy. Let's meet in the kitchen.
Janet's webinar is going to be good.
Yeah, Janet's going to do a webinar for any, you know, nutrition entrepreneurs next week on trends, food trends during the whole, you know, COVID-19.
I got to get on that school bus right there.
You're probably in the presentation.
Yeah, we're there. Carolyn O'Neill, what's your blog website again?
thehappyhealthykitchen.com.
I love it.
The
And Carolyn O'Neill, you are magic, like I always know
You
that
are.
you are. Thank you so much for being a superstar guest on the Pantry Party Show. Love you so much.
I love you too, and thank you. All right, got to not head out to the bowling alley now.
Love you. Bye, Carolyn. That was another fabulous episode of the Pantry Party Show with @Carolyn O'Neill. We have named the episode. It's called the Cheaters episode, right? Cheater pickles, cheater sauce, and the cheater pickles are just cucumbers chopped up, put into the pickle juice that you have in your fridge. And the cheater sauce is using salad dressing for things other than salads, like marinades or last minute into stir fries. Amazing. Hashtag nailed it is right, Michelle Dudash and Janet Helm. All of her stuff really should go into a trends report. That woman, huh? Amazing. And so that was another very successful week of the Pantry Party Show. And don't worry, I'm back next week with a whole new lineup of superstar guests for the Pantry Party Show. So until next week, have a wonderful weekend. Sending you high immunity vibes, lots and lots of kisses. Bye, guys.